Burt Reynolds in their sights, Deliverance is our essential movie at 10. But now 5's Essential Motoring Hour starts with a chance to win this little number.
Not bad for a girl. Welcome to Dream Machine, where the star of this week's show is the ultimate getaway car. It's the classic Mini Cooper. Now, normally on Dream Machine we give away one car to the lucky winner of our phone-in, but this week we're feeling just a tad more generous. In this very special programme, we're going to take 3 Mini Coopers and transform them into lookalikes of the getaway trio that starred in the Italian Job film.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off!
The film made a star of the Mini Cooper, where Michael Caine and his gang famously used 3 of them to escape from the Italian police in one of the best car chases of all time. Our team of restorers and mechanics have quite a task ahead of them this week, with 3 times their usual workload. Stage 1 is Mark's favourite part of the process, pulling them to bits.
As with all these projects, the first thing we have to do is strip all these cars. Now that's complicated enough because obviously we've got 3 cars, which is unusual for us.
To help us rise to the challenge of doing everything in triplicate, we have some expertise on board. Our most mustachioed mechanic, Mick, is an experienced mini-man.
How short is the quickest time you've managed to rebuild one of these?
6.5 years.
Oh dear.
Once we've turned these sorry-looking vehicles into movie star lookalikes, we'll be giving them away to 3 lucky winners.
Last week we built this glorious Aston Martin. And later on in the show, we'll show you the moment we handed it over to the winner of last week's phoning competition. Also this week, I'll be burning rubber with stuntmaster Russell Swift. And going on location. Only in Italy would they build something as daft as this on the top of a roof. The team are stripping the Coopers down to their bare shells, but when it comes to rebuilding the cars, this is not a straightforward restoration job. The team are planning how best to give the Coopers their getaway car makeover.
Now, these are more modern cars than the ones in the film, so we've got to kind of do a retro job on them to take them back to the 60s, which is going to mean keeping the same engine but upgrading it and tuning it quite radically. We're going to change the inside in terms of the seats, make that look a bit older, put a full roll cage inside. It's going to have a proper grille on the front that it would have had in the 60s with all the headlamps for rallying, and then obviously the most important thing, top paint job, red, white and blue.
The engines have been unattached and are ready to come out.
Fuel pipes off.
There are 3 engines to take out and 2 ways of doing it. The conventional way is to use a hoist and lift it out. Or Mick's approach is to drop the engine out the bottom and lift the entire body off the top.
Why are we taking it out like this?
It's quicker.
This is only a good option if there are a few strong men handy. This is an original 1960s Mini Cooper. The 2-tone paint job is what sets the Cooper apart from the standard Mini. The body shell is steel, and chrome trim plays a big part in the design. Its front-wheel drive and pin-sharp steering made it one of the top rally cars of the 60s, able to nip around its heavyweight opponents. This model has a 998cc engine which will give you 55 brake horsepower. This one was built on the first day of production, which is why it has a red interior. After the first 200, all interiors were black. The team are taking our 3 Mini Coopers apart and working out what replacement parts are needed.
What kind of condition is this subframe in? Can we pull it out?
Yeah, we just need
The great thing about restoring Mini Coopers is that new parts are easy to get hold of.
So that's completely gone. We've got to replace that with a new one.
We're stripping them down and rebuilding the engines and gearboxes, as well as giving them a bit more poke.
This is a fast road cam, and this is the bit that operates the valves, and it just allows the valves to stay open longer, which basically means you get more fuel in your engine. Now, 8 brake horsepower doesn't sound like much, but it'll give you another 10 to 12 miles per hour on the top speed.
To find out how the Mini feels in action, I got behind the wheel of one. The classic Mini Cooper is a real favourite of mine. It epitomises everything that's good about the 60s, wrapped up in a really cute little package. Now, even by today's standards, this car drives really well. It's like a little go-kart. It's hardly surprising that when it first came out, it was winning races and rallies, and it really did take the world by storm. The original Mini was designed in 1960 by Alec Zigonis as a small car solution to the Suez fuel crisis. John Cooper, an established race car manufacturer, took the standard Mini and re-engineered it for saloon car racing and rallying.
What Coopers really did was to produce items on the car, for instance the engine upgrade from the 850cc to the 997cc. And then obviously things like the twin carburetors and stronger valves and crankshafts to turn the car into a reliable race car.
Everyone's favourite small car was hotted up and the Mini Cooper was born. It started competing with great success and the little car was suddenly huge. Anyone who was anyone had to have one.
It became very chic around the 60s in London. Company my father was running, the Cooper Car Company, was commissioned to build one for Ringo with a hatchback so that his drums could fit in the back. And of course royalty, Princess Margaret had a Mini Cooper, and many people of all walks of life loved to drive their Minis.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among
Rarely has a car inspired such love and loyalty amongst its owners. John Kelly is a die-hard Mini fan.
Doesn't matter what model of Mini you drive, you feel something from the car. It just brings out so much emotion in me, you know, when I drive the car and the acceleration, and you feel everything, you know, from the road, you know, through the car. Modern cars today, you know, it's all very insular, you know, it's very comfortable, but for me, it's the actual being next to everything. It's noisy and it's uncomfortable. All those things are appealing.
You're not exactly buying it for its luxury, are you?
No, you wouldn't do
Okay.
that, no.
This is a very special example, a car fit for a king. It now belongs to Roger Wall of the Mini Cooper Register.
Well, it's a 1275 1966 Cooper S, built for King Constantine of Greece by a firm called Radfords, who also did cars for Peter Sellers, Twiggy and a lot of the celebrities from the 60s. And they did to a Mini anything you really wanted. It's got electric windows, a wooden dashboard, blue velour interior. It's got a record player, a beautiful car. If you had your money, you could have what you wanted.
Fill my heart with song and let me
It's a car I feel passionate about, and there's very few things that I think we can feel passionate about in this world.
all I worship and adore.
Everybody loves the Mini. It's a British institution, and I'm just part of that institution.
I love you.
Our 3 cars have had all the old paintwork blasted off them. The team have got to sand them down before they're ready for their new paint job. But it's a long, slow process.
I've no sandpaper left, it's just my thumb that's doing this now.
With the body stripped of paint, it's clear some of the old door panels need to be replaced.
We can just slide it on a bit. Because you pre-crease the ends of these, haven't you?
Yeah, so I want to get some alignment with it.
The new panels must be fitted precisely to blend in with the lines of the car and fit the door frame exactly.
There we go.
The Mini Cooper is a hardy little beast and will see you through most driving conditions, even standing for this sort of treatment. The Mini is such a terrific icon because it's been so good at everything it's ever done. The celebrities loved it, it was a superb fashion accessory, and it's also great at being chucked around corners. Russell Swift burns rubber for a living. He's the world's #1 Mini precision driver.
I've been driving with the Mini since 1968. I've got 2 world records. One of them is the parallel park, where a handbrake turned into a parking space. It's 33 centimetres longer than the car in 2 seconds. And the other manoeuvre is the J turn, or the reverse spin, where you get up to maximum speed in reverse and then spin the car around to the forwards direction without stopping. And my record was for doing that in the tightest space.
So, hang on. So, how do you do it? Right, so you're driving up,
Right.
you yank the handbrake on, and you
turn in. You start the arc,
Yeah.
so the car's actually leaning, so that when you pull the handbrake, the back end breaks away and comes round.
But see, if I tried to do it, I would get it so hopelessly wrong.
Off you go now, go on, faster, faster.
Okay, so you really got to be going.
You really got to, because once you pull that handbrake on, it's going to kill the speed immediately. Right. Keep that speed up, don't back off, can I tell you? Turn in now, turn in.
Sorry about the cones there.
Right, faster, 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 faster. Ah, faster, turn. Off you go.
Yes! Everything's been stripped off our Coopers. The bodywork's been primed and the shells are in the paint shop for their final coat. We're using the same colours as the Italian job cars, starting with tartan red.
Aye, Viagra's kicking in.
Once the cars are painted, we can really get to grips with rebuilding our threesome. First in are the engines. As with taking them out, there are 2 ways to put them back in. Either drop the engine in the top like this, or alternatively, lift the body over the top of it.
Stop picking from underneath, yeah?
Just bring it up with you.
Now they've been reconditioned, these 1-litre engines should be good for another 80,000 miles. You could be in with a chance of winning one of our finished Mini Coopers if you call 09069 122 602 and correctly answer this question. In which city was the Italian job filmed? Was it A, Turin, or B, Milan? Lines are open now until 8 PM on Sunday the 30th of March, where the winner will be selected from all the correct entries. Make sure you're by your phone between 8 and 9 on Sunday, when it might be you that we phone with the good news. You must be able to take delivery of your car on Monday. After the break, find out how last week's lucky winner reacted when they found out they'd won our lovely Aston Martin.
Fantastic.
And join us in Italy for our very own Italian job.
Has always been seen as a tactical victory for the Duke of Wellington. But startling new evidence from the battlefield reveals that the true cause of Napoleon's downfall was stranger than anyone could have imagined. Massacre at Waterloo continues a week of revealing documentaries tonight at 9 on 5.
Welcome back to Dream Machine, where this week our motoring makeover team are transforming 3 1990s Mini Coopers into getaway cars, like the ones in the classic film The Italian Job. They've adapted the wheel arches to fit 1960s style smaller 10-inch wheels.
Get tight those there, lads.
The cars in the film had roll cages, but the ones we've had made are rather large.
I mean, this has been sort of made, it's not really fitted to the car.
We've got to get the roof lining in there.
They've made it without the roof lining in.
And without floor mats or
without
anything
floor
on the
mats
old
in,
shelf.
and
It's too big, isn't it?
It doesn't look like they're going to be able to squeeze those massive roll cages into our mini-minis.
Hold on, Maria.
Roll cages are designed to keep the body shell from collapsing if it's in a crash. These days they must be fitted to any car built for racing or rallying. But in the early days of motorsport, safety measures were much less stringent.
Rally cars of the 1960s had very basic driver protection. Most weren't equipped with any sort of roll cage or impact system. making the sport a much more dangerous undertaking than it is now. The Monte Carlo Rally is the classic 5-day endurance event. In 1964, the world's most famous rally driver, Paddy Hopkirk, stole the hearts of the nation when he took a little Mini and drove it to victory. Nearly 40 years after the Mini won the Monte, we took Paddy's rally car out of retirement and reunited him with his old motor.
I wasn't very well known then, but I suddenly sort of became famous overnight, and I was getting telegrams from the Beatles and telegrams from the Prime Minister. It was very glamorous and lovely and a great experience. This here was our home for, it was 5 days and 5 nights then, and we started in Minsk in Russia. We had an electrically heated windscreen in those days, believe it or not, and that was very far ahead of its time because it was 40 below. And we've got a huge spotlight here on the roof, and this was worked by the co-driver for showing you the twisty road ahead and the hairpins and what have you. These are illegal now. It'd be great fun to have one of these in your car nowadays, though you could blind people who don't dip their lights. I'm often asked what does it require to be a good rally driver, and I always think it's probably if you're dropped on your head at a very young age, that probably helps. It's something that was very much a part of my life. I think they're damn good cars.
So this goes...
We go up there.
The team have given up on those oversized roll cages and ordered some smaller ones.
But before they're fitted in the cars, the roof lining needs to be in place.
Putting the roof lining is quite simple if you've got clean hands and a lot of patience. In warm weather, they're fine. In cold weather, they're very brittle and they tend to split.
We try the second set of roll cages.
Then we've got to go into there. Look.
And they're a perfect fit.
They designed the front pockets so that you could carry a bottle of gin, a bottle of water and 2 glasses in it. That was the heyday of British motoring.
This is one of the original swing number plates that they had on the boot. There it comes down and the number plate swings out so it can still be read from cars behind.
Solid, right? Washing up liquid, screens go in a lot easier.
We're putting in windows and fitting the chrome, door panels and number plates. It's all systems go. But Amanda's stuck in traffic.
The Mini Cooper's finest hour was its starring role in the film The Italian Job, where 3 cars were used by a gang of English robbers to escape from the Italian police. But as you can see, Turin is not the best place to make a quick getaway. The film has recently been released on DVD. Matthew Field has produced the making of section, as well as writing the book to accompany it.
Troy Kennedy Martin, who wrote the script, he wrote it around the Mini because he felt the Mini represented the time. It was classless, it was fun, it was cheeky, it was what the New Britain was all about at the time.
Matthew took me on a tour of the best car chase locations.
And at one point they come flying across this weir. It was probably one of the most difficult stunts to film in the picture because obviously being little Minis or being any cars you put in the water, that the engine's just going to flood. The Mini Coopers that you see in the film, they came straight off the production line and they went to a garage in North London, and once they'd been modified, they were then shipped over to Italy, where they were then taken over by Remy Julien, the French stunt team.
Next location, those famous church steps.
It had to be directed very carefully because to make sure all the extras are standing in the right places so that they didn't get flattened. Obviously it was going to be a hard stunt because if they went too slow, they feared that they might topple over. So Julien, ensured that they came down here at breakneck speed so they got it over with.
But the most memorable location of all is the test track on top of the old Fiat factory. The main building below is now the Le Méridien Hotel, but the roof remains untouched. Only in Italy would they build something as daft as this on the top of a roof.
This is probably the most famous sequence in the whole of the film, where the 3 Minis come whizzing around behind us along this racetrack, chased by the Alpha police cars.
Now, as you go round, look for that bloody exit. We can't go round here all night.
If you made a picture like this today, you wouldn't do these stunts for real. What you see them doing is real. It was very, very dangerous. I mean, there was the possibility that one of the guys could have got killed. The director, when he knew it was in the can, he ran up the staircase onto the rooftop, and his jacket was full of bottles of champagne, and they had big knees up on top there. Many people have claimed that they've got a Mini that was used in the Italian job, but the producer, Michael Dealey, said none survived, and he said if there had been, then he most certainly would have had one.
Our own trio of lookalikes are looking better all the time. We're dressing them up with chrome bright work.
When the first Minis came out, they was just plain front. But later, when the Coopers came out, they introduced a little bit more chrome, which was an overrider and a corner bar.
Mick knows a trick to fitting the chrome trim around the arches.
Usually, if you put a little bit of hot water on, it makes the plastic more pliable to get round the corner, and when it gets cold, it'll be flat.
Last week, the team restored an Aston Martin V8 to its former glory. We selected a winner from our phone-in, and it started its journey to its new home. This week, we are just outside Bath at the home of Steve Klenn. I do love doing this. Needless to say, he doesn't know that we're coming. He has won our second Dream Machine. I hope he's here. Please be in. Oh, movement, movement.
Morning.
Steve.
Hi.
Congratulations, Steve.
Fantastic.
You have won our second Dream Machine.
No, fantastic.
Come outside.
Superb.
Everybody, do what you doing. Smile will bring us sunshine day.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Don't you think so?
It is, it's just, yeah. It certainly is.
Smile will bring us sunshine day.
Look what they've won.
I know. Marvellous, isn't it?
Your smile will bring us sunshine day.
Do you want to go and have a little sit?
Yeah, love to.
Check it out for size.
Yeah. Yeah, it fits.
It's just unbelievable, you know, sort of wake up in the Monday morning and there's an Aston Martin that's yours. It's...
Bye.
Oh, he'll be thrilled, absolutely thrilled, yeah. He's going to go, yes!
Everybody, do what you doing. Smile will bring us sunshine day.
Fantastic.
Your face is an absolute picture.
Monte Carlo motoring, this is.
Is it?
It is, fantastic. Yeah, very good, very good.
Everybody, do what you doing. Your smile will bring us sunshine day.
So our Aston Martin has found its new home, and there is one very happy new owner. But don't worry, because there are plenty more cars for us to give away throughout the series, so keep watching.
Should we miss Moneypenny?
With 1,500 man-hours and 30 grand spent on them, our threesome of getaway cars are ready to escape the workshop. We've revved up the engines, repaired and repainted the body shells, and finished them off with rally-style roll cages, straps and headlights.
These cars not only look fantastic, they're also terrific fun to drive. It's just like being in a genuine rally car. Trust me, you want these cars. You could be in with a chance of winning one of our finished Mini Coopers if you call 09069 122 602 and correctly answer this question. In which city was the Italian job filmed? Was it A, Turin or B, Milan? Lines are open now until 8 PM on Sunday the 30th of March. All you've got to do is call. Good luck.
Next week's Dream Machine is a day earlier on Tuesday at 8. Next tonight, cars going up in smoke and the new Jaguar XJ. Stay with us as we shift seamlessly into fifth gear. There's a booklet to accompany this series. To reserve your copy, please send a cheque for £4.50 made payable to Channel 5 to Dream Machine, P.O. Box 55, London W5 5YA, or ring the order line on 08705 555 055.